Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football post-game show. I'm sorry I'm a couple days late with it. Uh, there was a sense of relief in somewhat subbed Dallas Cowboys locker room after a hard-fought victory over the New York Giants. There was little celebration. What was important Thursday night were the numbers on the scoreboard at MetLife Stadium. Dallas Cowboys 20, the New York Giants 15. Yes, Dallas beat the Giants actually 22-15 to even up their record at 2-2. The two-game losing streak was over, and those who had been criticizing Dallas were now 2-2, and Coach Mike McCarthy, in predicting a disappointing season, had been quieted for one night. The Cowboys were back, being the Cowboys, a good offense and solid defense. Dak Prescott threw one of his two touchdown passes to CeeDee Lamb, and the Cowboys beat the Giants for the seventh straight time and 14th in 15 games. We've got to change the narrative. That's what this game did, especially over a long weekend, said Prescott, who completed 22 of 27 for 221 yards. And it puts us at 2-2. It allows us a couple of days to get our mind right, to get our body right as well. Prescott hit running back Rico Dowdle on a 15-yard screen pass for a touchdown to put Dallas ahead in the first quarter. He then found Lamb for a 55-yard catch and run TD on a play that ended with the receiver being called for taunting. I lost my first two games to them, said Prescott, who has won his last 13 starts against New York. It could have been a remarkable rookie year had that not happened. It's a good matchup for us. The offensive line always sets the tone. I love playing here in New York. Lamb slipped past two defenders and trotted into the end zone. He then fired the ball in their direction and flexed his muscles, drawing an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I think that was the only one on one I got all game, and we exploited it, said Lamb, who had 7 catches for 98 yards. He still has not had a 100-yard game this season. Brandon Aubrey kicked field goals of 60 and 40 yards for Dallas, which came into the game with major concerns after being thoroughly beaten at home by New Orleans and Baltimore. A new issue for the Cowboys is an apparent leg injury to star pass rusher Micah Parsons, who was carted off the field in the fourth quarter. Parsons said he is getting x-rays on Friday, which was yesterday. We'll keep you updated on his x-rays when it becomes available. Greg Joseph made field goals of 52, 41, 38, and 22 and 42 for the Giants, who fall to 1-3, who controlled the ball for 35 minutes and 37 seconds, but failed to score a touchdown at home for the second straight game. They had 2 field goals in a 28-6 loss to Minnesota in their opener. What hurt New York was its inability to run against the league's worst rush defense. Dallas been giving up an average of 185.7 yards, but it held the Giants to 26 yards on 24 carries and 11-yard average. Excuse me. I would say we've got to do a better job in the run game, and that starts with me, Coach Brian DeBall said. But we've tried a variety of things. We couldn't really get much going. Daniel Jones' arm kept this one close. He completed 29 of 40 passes for 281 yards, finding sensational rookie, Malik Neighbors for 12 times for 115 yards, and Wandale Robinson 11 times for 71 yards. But the one thing he could not find was the end zone. We don't feel good about losing, said Jones, who has had 3 straight solid performances. We didn't do enough to win. We're frustrated. We're not discouraged. I think we're still confident in our team and what we can do. Well, but we don't feel good about this. Neighbors left late in the game with a concussion. Jones threw an interception on the Giants' final series after Aubrey missed a 51-yard field goal try, and his first career miss from over 50 yards to give New York one slim last shot. If there was a bright spot for the Giants, they were at least competitive against a bitter rival. They lost last year's 2 games by an 89-17 margin. The Cowboys got just what they wanted on Thursday night. So, and you lose 2 in a row, you go through a phase where everybody is kind of uptight, Lamb said. Was good for us to come out 1-0 this week. It's one we needed. It's a division game. It put us in the right place. Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, who had a sack in the first half to his run career, total to 61 and a half, left in the second half with a foot injury. Rookie starting quarterback Kalen Carson and backup safety Marquise Bell had ankle injuries, were inactive after being listed as doubtful. Andrew Booth started for Carson and was relieved by Mari Arui, Aruwarai at the start of the second half. Giants neighbors, the number 6 overall draft pick and breakout star, suffered a concussion on New York's next to last series. And so we'll see how long that injury is going to last. So maybe how long he might be out for. We'll keep you updated on that as well. The Cowboys will be at Pittsburgh for a Sunday night showdown with the Steelers, on Sunday, October 6th, which will be next Sunday, and the second of their 5 scheduled primetime appearances. And the Giants will be in Seattle to take on Seattle, the Seahawks, on October 6th. So the Giants will have to regroup and try to get their second win of the season against the Seahawks. And Dallas will try to go to 3-2 when they play Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football. And I got to give the game balls to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 22 of 27 carries and attempts for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rico Dowdle, 11 attempts, 46 yards. And CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. So Dallas gets the win in this one, and I took the Dallas Cowboys. Most likely my brother-in-law did as well. I don't know, but I'll hopefully find that out tomorrow, hopefully. But we do have some action for a whole day of football action tomorrow. In the early games tomorrow, the New Orleans Saints are at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Cincinnati Bengals are in Carolina at Bank of America Stadium to take on the Panthers. The LA Rams are at Soldier Field in Chicago to take on the Bears. The Minnesota Vikings are in Green Bay to take on the Packers at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay. The Jacksonville Jaguars are in NRG Stadium in Houston to take on the Texans. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts. And rounding the Denver Broncos are at MetLife Stadium tomorrow to take on the Jets. And rounding out the early games, the Philadelphia Phillies are in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa to take on Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Now we have 4 late afternoon games. The Washington Commanders are in State Farm Stadium in Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals. The New England Patriots are at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, to take on the San Francisco 49ers. The Browns are in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium to take on the Raiders, and that'll be at 4:25. And also at 4:25, the Kansas City Chiefs are at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, to take on the LA Chargers. Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills are in Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. And we have a Monday Night Football doubleheader. The Tennessee Titans are at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami to take on the Dolphins in the early game at 7:30. And the Seattle Seahawks are at Ford Field in Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. And you will get the rest of my picks tomorrow. And I won on Dallas's game, which they won 20-15, so I'm 1-0 on them right now. Hoping you have a better week because I've been 8-8 the last couple of weeks. So, but again, Dallas wins over the Giants 20-15, even up their record of 2-2. The Giants fall to 1-3. That's just about going to wrap it up for the Sky Sports 101 Thursday Night Football post-game show. I'll be back tomorrow with the Sky Sports 101 Browns NFL early games pre-game show. Well, I'll be there. NFL early games pre-game show. I'll preview the Browns though, and then the early games post-game show and the late game pre-game show. Then and there'll be the Browns late game pre-game show for that, and then I'll be back for the Sunday Night Football late games, Browns late NFL late games post-game show, and Sunday Night Football pre-game show, and then Monday Night Football pre-game and post-game on Monday. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.